What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And yes, as you can see from the headline there, more information is starting to trickle out in regards to what happened to Victoria Alonso and her exit from Marvel Studios. And as it turns out, she was just straight up fired, okay? There was none of this, well, she was out of sync with the other Marvel executives. Like, they kind of spun it on that last article when I did that video. I'll link it above if you haven't seen it. But they were kind of spinning it like, well, maybe it was kind of a mutual decision or something of that nature. You know, she was tired of them. They were tired of her. So she just said, you know what? Let's just all mutually part ways. Nah, she was fired, okay? She was fired. Absolutely fired, all right? And listen, we'll get the details. You'll see what I'm saying. Yeah, she must have been a huge problem pill for this particular company, okay? A lot of details been coming out about this. And yeah, the lady that put the she in MCU, yeah, she was a huge issue in more ways than one. Let's go ahead and check out this article. Of course, this is on Variety. So this little intro to the article is talking about she was at the Academy Awards. She was on the red carpet for Argentina 1985. She was posing for pictures. And then she spotted a couple of women, photographers, basically. Look at this, two women. Alonso said of the female photographers hired for the gig. And she got emotional and then insisted that the pair put down their cameras and pose for a picture with her in front of the giant Oscar statue. And they all smiled and she said, "We've worked so hard to get here and we're not going anywhere." Well, maybe they ain't going nowhere, Vicky. But for Vicky, 8 days later, she was fired. Okay, so it's 100% fired. Okay, not exited. Okay, not stepped away. None of that crap. She was fired as Marvel's president of physical production, post-production, VFX, and animation. 3 individuals familiar with the matter told Variety. The shakeup came as a surprise to many in the show business and within the vast Marvel comic book fandom. Yeah, we were excited, okay? We were surprised. It was a good surprise for us. I can't say what other people in show business were thinking, but the comic book fandom, oh yeah, we was happy about that, okay? Like I said, this lady put the she in MCU, okay? All of the nonsense that you see, it's going to get into it right here. Let's keep reading. Now pay attention to this. While the cause of Alonso's termination is unclear, the sources said the decision was made by a consortium, including Human Resources, Disney's legal department, and multiple executives, including Disney Entertainment co-chairman Alan Bergman, who all of Marvel Studios reports. Okay, stop right there. Human Resources, all right? FYI, if you're a young kid and you starting off on a job or whatever, you get pulled into a room with HR, right? Like your boss says, "Hey, Johnny, come on in here real quick. We're just going to have a quick meeting, all right? Won't take too much time." And you walk into that meeting and HR is sitting in there. You've been fucking up, okay? You've been fucking up bad, all right? I'm just going to let you know that right now, all y'all youngsters out there. If that's the scenario, you messed up big time, all right? Because HR's whole job, all right, Human Resources I'm referring to, their job is basically just to catalog all the shit you're doing wrong, okay? They keep in charts of every single complaint, all right? All the different conversations. If you got some emails going back and forth, they're keeping track of all of that stuff, all right? And they have it cataloged and marked. They probably walked into this meeting with like a thick folder, like this thick, a manila folder for on Victoria Alonso, okay? Lady just dropped it down. Bam! Hey, okay, Victoria, here's all the stuff that you've been doing up in this piece. All right? That's how this thing was going down. Not only did you have Human Resources, you had the legal department, all right? And so I don't know why the legal department was there, but if the legal department is there, it could be about the contracts and making sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. It could definitely be that. It could also be that, yeah, maybe there was some lawsuits going on with these VFX companies, okay? Or maybe something else was going down. Something legal is never a good thing, okay? They had to have legal in the room to make sure that everything was done correctly, that everything was on the up and up. It could have just been about Victoria Alonso's contract, absolutely, all right? Just making sure she's compensated or whatever. Legally, we're in the right, okay? We don't have anything to worry about, absolutely. But the fact that they had to get legal involved, not good, all right? And then multiple executives, including Alan Bergman. Wow, man, Alan Bergman. You was messing up. Vicky, what was you doing over here? Vicky, you was tripping, chick. You was tripping, man. She was wilding out, okay? And all of these people had to come in here and pull her card and be like, yo, you got to get up out of here, okay? We can't have you around here no more, Vicky. You got to go. I mean, man, that's crazy. And here's even the crazier part. Alonso's longtime boss and Marvel chief creative officer, Kevin Feige, felt mired in an impossible situation and ultimately did not intervene, one source added. Alonso was blindsided, another insider added. Damn. Kevin Feige said, hey, leave me out of this. Okay, leave me out of this. Kevin Feige wanted nothing to do with this situation whatsoever. He couldn't even go and speak up and stand up for one of his old lieutenants. Somebody that he came up with all the way from the beginning. Like, man, like, look, either Feige was in 100% agreement with whatever this decision was, and he just didn't have the guts to pull the trigger himself, or he was just in straight CYA mode, okay? Hey, I got to cover my own ass at this point, you know? Bob Iger seems like he's on a warpath. He out here busting balls. I got to make sure I'm good, okay? I'm not sure if that was the case, but like when a big person like Victoria Alonso goes down, and I mean, they got all of these cats in here, that's a message, okay? Let me just get that out the way. That's a message to everybody else out there. Y'all better get y'all shit together, okay? Because we're coming for you, and if you can't get that, Marvel is a cash cow, okay? We can't do another phase 4, all right? And the way phase 5 is getting started, it's going to be another phase 4 if we don't get this thing nipped in the bud, all right? And that's what they did with Victoria. They nipping her right up in the bud, man. A rep for Alonso declined to provide comment for the story. Marvel Studios also had, nobody's going to be talking. Nobody's saying shit right now, man. This thing is a firestorm. And it talks about her career, and, you know, basically she was the right hand right up under Kevin Feige, man, for 17 years. And Kevin Feige and Louis D'Esposito, these cats was like, don't talk to us about Victoria, okay? And he didn't have just the balls to be in the room, man. Guy's a whip. I would have been in the room and been like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, Victoria. Just, you know, things happen. You know, we're going to have to ask you to leave, okay? Just to be like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to intervene. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to sit back with my hands folded, all right? Man. But here's the other thing. Simultaneously, she worked to become a brand on her own, a rare openly LGBTQ woman and person of color in a visible leadership role, known for her fiery passion and outspokenness over diversity and inclusion in Marvel storytelling. Look, listen, folks. If you're all about that diversity and inclusion, you better be right about that shit. 100% right about that shit, okay? Because, like I said, this chick put the she in MCU, all right? Phase 4, that was all of her, man. Her pushing that stuff. As it says here, man, fiery passion and outspokenness, okay? Trying to make sure that we got lots of diversity and inclusion in Marvel storytelling, all right? This shit cost her job. I guarantee you this is absolutely one piece of this, all right? They probably said to her, hey, Vicky, you're the main one that's all about this diversity and inclusion with the movies. We have some box office receipts we want to talk to you about, okay? When you make those decisions, all right, it's not like, oops, oh well. No. We lost millions and millions of dollars, maybe even billions. There's the opportunity cost where we could have put this money and we didn't put it. Chick, you in trouble. I mean, there's no way around that. All right. You pushed all of this stuff and that stuff fell flat on its face. Ooh, yeah. I guarantee you there was some harsh words coming off about diversity and inclusion in that meeting. Then it goes on to say she was being honored by media watchdogs and visual effects communities alike. It's about to publish a memoir about her corporate ascent, aptly titled Possibility is Your Superpower. So where in all of the multiverse did this dramatic fracture occur? It's recurred here, like basically phase 4, all right? 2021 and 2022, Marvel unloaded an unprecedented torrent of comic book adventures, 17 titles, right? 7 movies, 8 streaming series, and 2 TV specials in 23 months. It was way too much, all right? Way too much. It was overload, all right? That breakneck distribution schedule, a product of the pandemic and the need to constantly feed Disney Plus, was not of Alonso's making. Marvel was far from the only studio tasked with delivering feature-level content for a newly launched streaming service, but it was Alonso's job to get each of those titles through Marvel's gargantuan post-production process. That's what she was hired for. That's her job, right? By the summer of 2022, cracks began to show in the company's seemingly impervious armor. Yeah, it sounds like the job just got too big for her. Like she just couldn't do the job anymore. This is what happens sometimes when you have diversity hires, okay? She checks all the right boxes, and it's like, oh man, look at that, LGBTQ, right? Woman of color, Oh, woman and woman of color. Oh, this is perfect, man. That's the trifecta. We hit the jackpot with this chick. Go ahead and put her in there as president of post-production. Man, we're going to win some DEI, brownie points, ESG scores going through the roof, right? Yeah, that's what happens, Marvel, okay? You know, hear me out. Crazy idea. Yeah, hire people just strictly based on merit. Not skin color, not gender, okay? Not sexual identity. I'm just saying. Might want to think about that. Starting on Reddit, followed by a series of stories published across the internet, visual effects artists began to complain loudly about Marvel's demanding post-production schedules. Complaints ranged from unrelenting overtime to chronic understaffing to the inability to avoid delivering substandard work due to constantly changing deadlines, okay? Some people singled out Alonso as a kingmaker who would blacklist artists who have pissed her off in any way. Yeah, I saw that information before and I was like, whoa, okay. So this chick was on some kind of power trip or something. I mean, wow, man, this thing was really bad. There's one visual effects artist told Variety the biggest issue for them was Marvel's inability to provide clear deadlines. The show I was on really struggled because it was an established character whose powers they were reconceiving for the MCU. It's got to be Miss Marvel, right? It's got to be Miss Marvel, okay? The artist said on the condition of anonymity, most complaints they said came down to one refrain. Marvel doesn't figure shit out beforehand. Listen, I've said on previous videos, if I can find the video, I'll link it up there. I said, these cats are making this stuff up as they go. They don't have a plan, all right? Number one, they absolutely don't have a plan. But number two, they don't understand their audiences. They don't understand what people want. And so they're just throwing stuff. Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's try this, okay? And seeing what happens with it. They don't have a clear idea of where they want to go at all, okay? As they said, they don't figure this stuff out beforehand, okay? Again, just flapping in the wind, man. Just flapping. It sounds like a lot like Star Wars, doesn't it? Okay? Like this, seriously, man. It sounds like Star Wars in the sequel trilogy era. They don't have a plan of what they want to do. A different senior VFX artist threw cold water on the idea that Alonso would single out individual artists. The idea of a very senior exec terrifying rank and file artist, per some reports, feels a bit off, they told Variety. Above the line, 3 different up-and-coming Marvel actors also agreed that Alonso was only a supportive force on set. Well, I'm sure some up-and-coming people would say that, okay? Because you're just getting started, all right? What about the veterans? What about the people that have been dealing with this lady for the last decade, all right? How do they feel, all right? Look, you had executives, HR, and legal in there to fire this lady, along with Alan Bergman, okay? This is no accident, all right? These people knew exactly what they were doing, and they had to make sure that they dotted every I and crossed every T, and they said, you're fired, get your ass out of here, all right? So yeah, I mean, you can say all of this stuff all you want to, all right? But I believe the consortium, okay? I think the consortium got it right. She was the epitome of professional and knows her stuff, said one former Disney film executive. Why is she fired, okay? Apparently, they didn't consult this particular executive when it came time to getting her out of there. I mean, man. Still, the drumbeat of something that is rotten in the state of Marvel Studios only grew louder with the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, a film that finished shooting over a year before it was due in theaters and still weathered repeat criticism for generic visual effects that looked like CGI glop and were very flat and cruddy looking. Horrible. Worst CGI by any Marvel film by far was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Even more critical, the movie has grossed $463 million globally, the worst performance of the Ant-Man franchise, and a figure that means it will struggle to break even in its theatrical window. It's not going to break even, okay? This thing is going to be 100% a flop, all right? And the fact that they no longer have physical media, okay? You don't get DVDs like you used to because everything goes to Disney+. Yeah, this thing is going to lose a ton of money. That's the wrong trajectory for a studio, oh, absolutely, that Disney has come to rely upon as an unshakable box office cash machine, one whose films have grossed over $28 billion at the box office. Look, Victoria Alonso, all right, she might not be like the main issue, okay? She's not the only person you could throw under the bus, all right? I guarantee there's probably 4 or 5 more bodies that need to be up under that bus with her, okay? But in regards to her performance, okay, if she's in charge of visual effects, and you just get trash visual effects like we got with She-Hulk, okay? That was garbage. Thor: Love and Thunder didn't look that hot either. Those were pretty bad, all right? And then, you know, you get to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. You're starting off Phase 5 on the wrong foot, all right? You're losing tons and tons of money, all right? $463 million, that's it. That's all they're going to make on a movie that they probably had to get about $560 to $600 million in order to break even. I'm sorry. if this chick, and then of course, again, she was the main one pushing all the woke stuff, diversity, inclusion. She was, what did they call her? What did they say? Known for her fiery passion and outspokenness about diversity and inclusion. Okay. So if this is you and all of this diversity and inclusion stuff has just brought nothing but a giant lead balloon, this stuff is not taking off, you're going to take the heat for that. That's why I said, if you're going to push this stuff, you better be right. Okay. You better be right, because you're going to be the first one out of there. All right. If that's what your game is, oh, I'm pushing diversity and inclusion. Okay. All right. You better be right. All I'm saying is we better make money, because if we don't make money, get her out of here. Okay. She sent us down the wrong path. All right. But again, the problem with the visual effects artist, absolutely. All right. She was screwing up. Okay. She was screwing up big time. And they had to get a whole host of people to make sure that they just, hey, you need to be out of here. Because all the lawsuits would, oh, they fired me because I was this, because I was this, because I was this. That's why they had to bring legal in there. I mean, man, this thing was a hot mess. I mean, this is insane. More stuff is going to keep coming out of this, I guarantee you, all right? And there's room under that bus. Who else is next, all right? What other bodies are we going to find under this bus before all is said and done? Will Feige be gone? I don't think anybody is safe at this point, okay? In Marvel or Star Wars, all right? Bob Iger clearly has laid down a mandate. We need these suckers to make money. They aren't making money. Eventually, this stuff comes to a head. We can only rely on these cats, this institutional investor crap, for so long, okay? ESG does not put butts in seats. We need good material out there. All right. And the MCU has just been nothing but a complete colossal failure. All right. And that's all at the heels, or laid at the feet of this lady, Victoria Alonso. Anyway, folks, what do you think about this situation? I've been talking too long about it. You guys go ahead, drop down, give me your thoughts and your opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.